This is my generic country song. It's just 3 cars and won't be.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music, and we're going to talk about some different albums that we're listening to. Right now, we'd like to welcome you to Two-Steptember. This month, we're talking about country albums instead of talking about the Consequence of Sound list. This time, we are going to be talking about Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger. Fair warning, we drink and say offensive shit sometimes, so there's that. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
What's up, man?
Not a lot of Bubba. Excited to talk about this one. I know this is kind of a new thing for us, and we kind of fucked it up last time. but
Yeah.
I'm really excited that we're sticking to this Two-Steptember because, reviewing the Consequence of Sound list, they don't have very many country albums. I don't think they have any. Now that I think
I was going to say, I don't think it's any either, yeah.
I don't think so either. But this is one that's near and dear to my heart, so yay.
Cool.
But before we get into that, what's been going on, Bubba?
Oh, just work and life and stuff, right? I'm trying to think about if anything's really new, but not terribly. Yeah, it's been a boring week. I don't really have a story.
You don't want to talk about you calling me all worried and stuff?
Oh, have we not? We haven't talked about that on the show?
No, we haven't talked about that. That was last week. I know that was just before we recorded Lauryn Hill, so we haven't talked about you calling me very concerned.
I thought we talked about it on Lauryn Hill, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah, so you sent me a text in the middle of the day that said, you're a good person with a big dick. And, I was at work, and so I just sent back the feelings mutual or something like that, or right back at you or something like that, and then and that I love you. And then I called you after work because, I thought that might be your suicide fucking note. So thanks for that. And yeah, you were just doing something stupid.
Yeah, so we had this training, and it was called Capturing Kids' Hearts. And the thing is, what you want to do, like as a teacher, is you want to get the kids, you want to know them on a personal level, because it makes it easier for them to learn from somebody who is invested in them.
Okay.
So in the middle of this training, the lady's like, you know what? Just go through your phone book right now and send a positive message to somebody.
Right.
And just don't say anything about it. And I was like, lady, you don't understand how in a hole that I am from other people. Like, this is gonna raise some flags. So I was like, you know
sure
what?
Did.
Yeah, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to send this to Andrew. I was like, you know what? I love you, Bubba. You're a good person, and you have a big dick. And you sent that back to me. And then I didn't think anything of it because I had, another 4 hours of training after that. And then as soon as we were done, I get a call from Andrew. I was like, what? Oh, he's probably wondering about that message.
Yeah,
so
I was.
Yeah, so from my side, I get the, hey, buddy, everything okay? I like it, that, hey, buddy,
yeah.
like, hey, buddy, you all right there? Well, that kind of feeling.
Yeah, like I figured you were at work and you weren't going to do it in front of the camera, like in front of the kids on camera. So I get out of work slightly earlier, so I just figured I'd give you a call. I was going to be real fucking pissed if that was your suicide letter, because that would be a real pain in the ass to explain to anybody. For selfish reasons, I was pissed.
Yeah, mostly my entire family, like my mom coming up to you. So, Andrew, the last thing he sent to you was this. Could you explain?
Yeah, we got Shane's phone records, and would you mind elaborating? Yeah. Yeah.
Real talk, if I were to do that, that would be the fucking best thing, because that would be the ultimate fuck you, and you could never get me back.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I don't know. It would, and it would be funny, just not eventually, right?
Yeah,
Like it would be funny eventually.
Not in the moment, yeah. Like not in the moment, but
no, but when I'm like 80, or if I live to be that long, be like, I could look back and be like, and that asshole
that
sent
fucker
me
got
this
me
real
good.
fucked up text message. That piece of shit.
Yeah, and so we talk for like a good hour, and I'm just completely oblivious that Andrew is concerned that I'm trying, that I might end my life. I just had no idea. And so we talk for like an hour, and then I'm like, oh yeah, about that message. There was this training we had to do, and then I, she told us to do this, and I sent that to you, and he's like, oh dude, I thought you were gonna fucking kill yourself. I was like, I didn't even think of that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, I was I was trying to be a good friend, and I had and call you and figure out what the fuck was going on. I realized it was hours later, but I figured you at work too, and like I said, I don't peg you as the person to do it in front of a bunch of kids. So
depends on the day. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but my mental health is fine. Just letting it out there. But I did tell my mom this story, like as like an overview, and she laughed her fucking ass off. She's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Right? How funny is that?" She's like, "Oh my god." I would definitely go up to Andrew and ask him what the fuck that was about.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because like Padre would be like, heard you got a big dick. Like it'd be solemn because you were dead, but it would still be a little bit of a joke in there. And your mom would be like super concerned and be like, what was this? Please tell me what this was.
Yeah, you'd have to have a whole conversation with mom about what that meant and all that. And
I wouldn't know how to answer. It would be how the fuck would I answer that? Like,
your son's an asshole. You know your son. Yeah. He's an asshole. He just did an asshole thing, and he's put it on me.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear the conversation with like you and like my brothers and sisters-in-law, like with Erica, like because I know she would ask, and had to explain to her.
I feel like Sammy would get it. But yeah, I don't know that Erica would, and then I don't really know the rest of your family super well. Like I've met them, but I don't, like I don't know Beth like that well. But I've met her. You know what I mean?
I think of all my family, I think Beth would be the one who'd be like, I get it. He pulled the dick move on you. He pulled these nuts on your ass.
Yeah. Well. So yeah. Anyway.
So that
was a thing.
That was a thing. Anywho. So I don't know if I talked about this, but recently we acquired a dog.
Yeah, you mentioned it on one of the times we were talking on the phone, and I don't remember the story or if there was one mentioned. So go ahead.
Long story short, we got a dog, and she's a golden retriever named Bailey, which is like the most basic white bitch dog of all time.
Yeah, but you just add a little J on the end there, and you.
No, I did add Bailey J because come on, because don't be stupid. Like I've listened to Tadpog for long enough. Like no, Bailey J. Like her name was Bailey. I'm gonna add J because of that. And then I showed Tasha, the actual owner of the dog. I was like, "This is Bailey J." She's like, "Oh wow, she's really pretty." I was like, "Yeah, and she has a huge dick too." Yeah, so we got this dog, and the other day I was looking at her, and it was kind of freaking me out because I couldn't quite place like her look, and then it dawned on me the other day that she looks like a blonde version of the dog in the opening credits of Hellsing. So like when when the Alucard's like doing the different things, and he turns into that dog at the very beginning with like the red eyes, like 6 red eyes.
Yeah, I vaguely remember, but that's way too specific of a reference.
I know, man. It hit me like in a moment of clarity, and I was like, oh my god, she is like the model for the dog that they did the artwork for to be Alucard's looking dog. Anyway, so that took me into a rabbit hole into Helsing, and I got to thinking about Helsing, and the one real like true memory I remember of Helsing is that scene where he's like where the dude like shoots him and then he comes back alive. He's like, come on, fight me, grow back your limbs, do this, fight me, and the dude's like freaked the fuck out because he's not like that high level of vampire, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know, I just rewatched that. I just watched it literally 5 minutes ago. I was like, oh my god, this scene. And I was like, that scene where it's kind of that idea where where you're really good at something and you see somebody do something really good at a game and you're like, oh, you have potential. Let's go. Right. And then you like take it too far and they're like, oh wait, I'm not that level.
Yeah.
So I think I've only experienced that in like foosball.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So like, not a lot of people play foosball down here.
Right.
But like you and I and your brother and Leo and a bunch of other people we play foosball, right? And Richard too.
Yeah, dude, it was for a while, like when I was living down there, I mean, that was one of our regular things, right? Like we just got really fucking good at foosball. I mean, compared to your average person, not compared to like fucking Leo and Barry, right? Like those
basically anybody who went to high school in like the late 70s, early 80s, where there was like a foosball table in their cafeteria.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Man, speaking of foosball, I saw one on Craigslist around here, and it was not expensive, but I was just like, I don't have anywhere to put a foosball table, if I'm being honest.
Is it a Tornado?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a generic brand, like it's a no-name brand, but it was cheap. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen a Tornado for sale here in town. I see them pop up on Craigslist every once in a while, but I don't know that I've ever seen like a legit fucking Tornado. These are I usually just see like no-name brands that pop up that are just like, they're good enough. If you greased them up right, they would play well enough. You know what I mean?
For sure. If you like lubed them up and like did the tin and like kind of balanced them and all that kind of thing, yeah, for sure.
Right. I just don't have room in my fucking house for a foosball table. So,
well, obviously you bought the wrong house.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I got one with a music studio and a workshop. Like, nah, we good. I just, decided to use it as a music studio and not a bar, which, considering the pandemic, was apparently the wrong decision. So
you chose poorly, right?
I mean, I have a beer fridge in here, but, it only holds enough beer for about 2 weeks for me, so.
For sure. Nah, I'm just... It had that moment. Anyway, so I do have an update on the machines. I talked about the Skynet with the microwaves.
Oh, God damn it! Really?
So
okay,
hold on.
Go ahead.
So what's been happening now in my house is that every day at about 3:45, about 3:50, all of my computers just decided, like, nah, dude, we're done. So, like, my work day is usually from about 7:45 to 4:15.
Okay.
I have to be online and doing something productive for like my Google Classrooms and things like that. I had to do something because let me take a step back. we were supposed to start 2 weeks ago, like on the 28th, but through the course of things, the school board decided that we're going to push back the kids actually starting school until the 8th, so after Labor Day.
Right.
So Tuesday, this week, the 8th, Tuesday, is going to be our first day online teaching and all that stuff. So that's the day I actually have to go to campus. I have to do all the things and all that stuff. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been doing like trainings and modules and getting set up with Google Classroom and getting comfortable with like using Zoom and just basically preparing for everything that needs to happen day one.
Gotcha.
And basically just set up for like the first 2 weeks so we don't have to fuck with it and we know what we're doing and we have everything set up.
Right.
Anyway, so every day this week and last week, about 3:45, no matter what computer I'm using, whether it's my personal or my school laptop, my computer just goes, nah, man, fuck it, we're done. We're out. I'm out. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm doing something, not doing something, it doesn't matter. It's just, nah, man, we're done. Nah, fuck it, we're done. Like today, I was making I was making something to like kind of, what is it called? Blah, blah, blah. I was making something to set the precedent on how I want the students to act on Zoom. So it's like my expectations of how you should act on Zoom. So I made like a Google slide. Oh, by the way, I am bomb as fuck at Google Slides by now. If you need a Google slide, bro, I got you. I can fucking knock this shit out. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm doing this, and it 3:50. Nah, man, we're done. I'm like, but I'm not done. Like, nah, bro, it's 4:00. We're done. I'm like, but I have to finish. Like, no. You're not listening, asshole. We're done. We heard what you said about the microwave. We know we're on to you, motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a high level of coincidence there. But if it is Skynet,
correlation isn't causation. I understand.
If it is Skynet and you are John Connor, what the fuck, universe?
Dude, I had to teach
Why
children.
do you get to be John Connor? Fuck you.
I don't think I'm John Connor. I think I'm like the Herald. Does that make sense? I'm like the guy who warns everybody, but nobody listens to. I'm like the dude with like the tinfoil hat with a sign at the beginning of like the Stephen King movie.
Okay.
You know, I'm like,
I mean,
Crazy Joe. You know what I mean?
I mean, you've had your tinfoil hat on for a couple weeks now, pretty hard, so.
Well, the machines are reacting, and they are, I mean, you know, Skynet's just developing, so it takes a minute. But, you know, I'm on the watch list, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, okay. It's all that kiddie porn you look at.
Look, Nekopara is a weird thing that I just happen to be into, okay?
Oh man. Oh, that was a good twist on that. I appreciate that. I don't think most of our well, no, they will if they're
I think everybody gets it.
Well,
some might, some might not. If not, Nekopara
if not, no, fuck that. If not, go listen to Tadpog. They have a great episode about it. It's a Valentine's Day episode.
It is, and it's super cringy. And it's
it is. It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're here to talk about
from underage cat girls. Let's go back to Willie Nelson.
I was going to say, yeah. Let's get back to where we're going to. So
speaking of redheads,
there is a stranger amongst us. Okay. But before we get into the actual album and my kind of, well, you know what? Let's get into kind of the backstory here. So Redheaded Stranger, this is Willie Nelson's 18th album.
Yeah,
18th.
Dude has a lot.
Dude does have a lot. And that,
yeah, this is 1975.
Yeah, May 1975, his 18th album.
Yeah.
So actually, in May, we saw the 40th anniversary of this album.
Oh, okay.
So that's a fun thing.
Well, no. It's 2020. It'd be 35th.
Shit, is it?
Yeah.
God damn it,
75 to
Shit.
2020 does not
Shit.
equal 40.
No.
It'd
Yeah.
be 35.
Yeah, I'm not
Numbers
the
are
math
hard,
guy.
I know.
Yeah, numbers are hard. No, art is hard. Numbers are harder.
Oh, wait. It'd be 45 because 85
Oh my fucking
would
god.
be 35 years ago because I'm 30. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
45.
yeah, 45.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what?
We both suck.
No, you know what? My 5 looked like I curled my O and my 5. It is.
Excuses.
No, I actually wrote 45th, but it looks like I didn't. Anyway, I did do the math right, but I didn't say it right. So either way, it's of no consequence. I'm terrible. Also, you're a fucking engineer, so you should know this shit more than I should.
Well, I just saw that you were off by 5 and went a direction and went with it.
Just a bit outside. All right.
If you don't believe that's how engineering works, you're well, it does. Sometimes you just guess and go for it.
It's not good. It's good enough. All right.
Well, I mean, at a certain, and I'm not that super experienced, but at a certain level, after a while, your guesses become kind of like you go off your gut, right? That's the first thing you try. You go with your gut, and sometimes it's wrong, but sometimes it's right. So, if it's obviously if it's something that's going to put people in danger, that's not how it works. But if it's like a computer program or something, yeah.
Like Skynet, for sure.
Yes,
got it.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, no, I got it. I connected that bridge. Anyway, so funny story about this album is that Willie Nelson left Atlantic Records, and then he moved to Columbia.
Okay.
And during that transition, he got a contract, and he got full creative control. So he could do whatever the hell he wanted.
Right, okay.
So during the course, like the recording of this album, he did a lot of weird things, and it's kind of when you listen to it, it's a little bit minimalist. It doesn't have a lot of, like, it really is, right? Like, it's not, it didn't have a lot of, like, it didn't have a lot of things. It's very bass.
It's like super back to basic country roots.
For sure. And we'll get to that for sure. But the real thing is that when he finished recording this album, he took it over to the record executives, and they did not like it at all.
Okay,
even a little bit.
Fuck him. I'm Willie Nelson.
Well, he's not quite there yet. But however, Waylon Jennings, who was like a big deal at that time, like he was big dick at that time.
Yeah.
And so he went to the record exec. He went to the actual head of Columbia. He's like, I'm gonna play this album for you. So he played it, and the record exec was like, I don't know. So Waylon Jennings was like, look, you're gonna make this happen. I don't give a shit. This is gonna happen. And in fact, he's on. Waylon Jennings is on record saying that they're tone deaf, tin-eared sons of bitches.
Well, he had a good ear.
Yeah, for sure. And so looking back, the major record exec, he said, look, this album shouldn't have been a hit. It was terrible. It was just it shouldn't. There was 1,000 reasons why this album shouldn't have been good. However, it was Willie Nelson's personality that sold the album.
Okay.
And I think that has a lot to say about this album.
Sure.
Because I don't know. For me, this is like the definitive Willie Nelson album.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not super familiar with Willie Nelson, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, this is the Willie Nelson album that I listen to. So I've probably listened to other Willie Nelson in the past. Like I'm almost certain I have, but I've never spent a long time with any Willie Nelson music. So this one, listening to it for the last few days, was my like very concentrated listening of Willie Nelson. So that's different than what I'm used to. Plus, I don't know that I've listened to a Willie Nelson album since forever ago.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, I've talked about this person a bit in the past, but really, my Uncle Fred is 100% the reason why I want to do this album. And my Uncle Fred is kind of a fucking badass.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to be the case, that it was Fred was the reason because I think you've told me in the past that this is like his like number one album or like top 3 or something like that.
For sure. No, I dollars to donuts, I know that this is probably his favorite album of all time.
Right.
But it also happens that I'm just gonna gush about Uncle Fred because this is gonna be kind of a dedication to him.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my Uncle Fred's a bad son of a bitch. He's a badass. This guy, he actually interviewed Willie Nelson. He was a DJ. He went to Texas Tech long ago. He was a DJ at the local radio station at Texas Tech. So he interviewed all these people, all these country artists at that time. He got to meet everybody who's coming up.
Right.
And he's also he is a redhead, but he is like super curly redhead. So like he has like this fro going on. So he really anyway, dude has been like a father to me my whole life. He plays guitar. In fact, I didn't realize until recently that when he would play, because he plays guitar. In fact, the reason he got through college was going and playing at bars and being like a troubadour. So
That's
would
pretty
like
cool.
that's how he made his money to get through college. Is like he'd play whatever country song is on the radio, but he just gravitated toward Willie.
Right.
And there's another reason that Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain was my grandma's favorite song of all time. And like every time Fred would come, like every time we had like a family thing, and we always had like a family thing. We had like a family thing like every month or two because we have a big family and we just do that. He would come down and he would play Willie Nelson. He'd play Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, for sure. That's a guarantee.
Okay.
But it wasn't until recently that I realized he would start at the first song at the time of the preacher and then go and then play through. He'd play the whole first half of the album. Every time when he played Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, he played the whole album first. Like
That's
the whole A-side.
Yeah, I mean that's not that's really cool, but that also doesn't surprise me because you can like the first 5 songs of this is what that is. And
it's just a reprise of, it's just kind of a mesh of song. Anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. But I didn't realize he'd do that whole run and then get to Blue Eyes and then he'd do, the other part, the other bits of the song, or the other bits of the A side of that album.
Well,
so I knew this before I really even understood that this was an album.
Okay. Well, Blue Eyes is actually it's one of the 2 covers on this song. On this album.
Oh no, there are more than one.
Are there?
There are a bunch of. I'll get there. I'll feed you, baby bird. We'll get there.
No, the listening to this, I wasn't sure if Blue Eyes was until looking at the internet. The one I knew was a cover was "O'er the Waves." I have no idea where the original comes from, but I do know one version, and I can perform it for you actually for
Really?
"O'er the Waves." Yeah. All right. Give me a second.
Oh shit! Make it happen, bro.
There you go. I don't know if that came through clearly.
I mean, I heard it, but you're still a twat.
Whatever, dude. It's really dumb. It's a stupid mouth trick. Yeah. There you go. There's Over the Waves.
Well, there you go, guys. You know what? Don't even worry about listening to this album. Andrew just encapsulated it right there with his mouth.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
There you go. He nailed it. He nailed it. Anyway, moving on.
Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
So, my Uncle Fred, man, he was like our family's own personal Willie Nelson. He was the redhead. He played guitar. And good Lord, I didn't realize his nickname was Dirty Fred because, man, he would play some fucked up songs. when Meemaw would go to sleep and like people, like all the older people went to sleep, he'd play some like bar songs. It was like, oh my God. Like I was 12 years old and I heard the three biggest lies. If you never heard the three biggest lies,
you go ahead and look that
listen
up.
to that song. Yeah, look that up. That's on you. But man, but Fred's always been like, he's been a man of the land. He always appreciates, Texas and our culture and also the Hispanic culture. Like he's gone to Mexico a bunch and learned like local songs that like go to villages in the middle of nowhere in Mexico, and he learned like their songs that they sing to each other, and he would like play them,
right?
And brought him back, and like man, he's just a big conservationalist about conserving the land and making sure. Man, he's just an awesome dude.
Right.
Uncle Fred's like he is our Willie. He's my family's Willie Nelson. Minus the weed smoking. I mean, there might have been a time in in his day, but not today.
Yeah.
And shit. He was a Marine who fought in Vietnam, and there have been many stories he told me where he was like, he would take his M15 or M16 into a foxhole, and he had his M16 and his guitar, and they'd be in the foxhole, and he'd bust out his guitar and just play. And it kind of soothed everybody's nerves.
Right.
So, man, the man's a fucking... He's the encapsulation of a warrior poet.
He's a bard.
He's a bard, true and true. He really is, man. If there ever was one, he is one.
Right. Yeah, I guess...
And
all of my experiences with Fred are like Thanksgiving, I think, is when he usually goes to visit your parents.
Yeah, he usually comes down. Were you were there when Mark fell in the fire?
Probably.
And he fell like on top of somebody who's holding Fred's guitar.
Yeah, probably. I've been to your parents' place a few times when Fred's been there. And yeah, he's always one of the people that I've clicked with just because, well, he's got a guitar, and so it's just one of those things like we can kind of go back and forth and play along and talk about music. And even though he's more country and I'm more blues, like that man knows more about music than I'll ever he'll forget more about music than I'll ever know, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I mean, he's also been on this planet like 60 years longer. So, no, that's probably wrong. Probably like 30 or 40. But still, like, he's been on this land a lot longer than I have and learned and played and known a lot more music. But it's always been real fun having him around. I mean, your family's fun anyway, but I've always had a respect for Fred just being who he is.
For sure. And he's just a great person. He's a great human being, and I love him to death. He's
Right.
he's an amazing person. Anyway, so that's kind of why I went here. And oh goodness, I was going somewhere and I forgot. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, so blah blah blah. Uncle Fred, you're amazing. Love you. You're the best. Anyway, so as far as this album goes, it's been nominated in the top 500 of Rolling Stone's best albums of all time.
Okay.
And I think it got to like 184 of the best 500.
Okay.
However, CMT, they did their own like top 100 country music albums,
Right.
and this is number one.
Okay.
And I couldn't agree more. I think this is the best country music album that's out there.
Okay.
Because it kind of hits that old-timey stuff. It's kind of incorporating a lot of different things, and it's a concept album, which is fun. I love the idea that Willie Nelson is one of the very few country music artists that does a concept album. That this is telling a story.
Yeah, it is. And, I mean, Willie Nelson is kind of an odd cat, right? Like, I don't know much about the guy, but from what I understand, he's kind of an outlier in the country music community. Is that correct? Is that fair to say?
I would agree. I would agree because he's not what fits into what country music should be.
Like, personality-wise, politics-wise, like, just maybe politics is a bad word, but like ideology-wise, like he fits some of the mold, but not all of it. If what I know about Willie Nelson is in any way, shape, or form true.
No, that's absolutely correct. I would absolutely agree. I think he's like Beck of music, of country music.
Okay.
He kind of just does whatever he feels, and it just
Works.
will do. Yeah, man. He's just a great artist. I have a quote that I kind of want to end on that I think is real. That kind of gives a good summation of Willie Nelson.
Okay. Well, we'll get there.
I'm not gonna get there yet. But
so
you know what? Here's a fun story. Here's
Okay.
a fun story about Willie Nelson. I saw him do an interview. I can't remember who did it, but it was about the time where he was getting repossessed by the IRS.
Oh, right.
He had a big tax thing, and they were repossessing all of his assets.
Right.
So, long story short, he gets a call about they're doing this. So he calls his buddy who lives like on his ranch, like near, like about, quarter mile away from his ranch. He calls this guy. He's like, "Hey, man, look, the IRS is coming. They're going to take a bunch of stuff. What I need you to do is go to my safe. In that safe, there's a box. I need you to get that box and get the hell out of town." So he tells him how to get there, and he tells him the combination to a safe, and so dude grabs the box and he runs out. And so he runs out, and Willie goes in, and he deals with the IRS and the people who are assessing his assets and all that kind of stuff and liquidating it. And later that night, the guy calls him. He's like, "Hey, Willie, I got your box." He's like, what's in here, man? Like, is this like, are these sentimental things? Are these like, are these guns? Like, what's in this box? And Willie goes, "Hell no, man! I just bought a pound of grass. I bought a pound of weed, man. I don't want them to add another damn charge on my ass. They're taking everything. I don't want to take my weed, dude."
That's funny. So yeah. So I think the way I would describe this album is this is a collection of campfire and saloon songs. And while I think that might sound like super basic generic country, this embodies like those motifs so well. And my description probably doesn't give this album justice because it is like a story all the way through, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's ups and downs. I mean, there's happy, sad, right? But in the end, I think the way that this is composed, it's like a mixture of campfire and saloon songs from like the Old West, and that's what kept coming to my mind over and over again when I was listening to this.
I would completely agree. I think yes, but I'd also say that I'd also add to that there is definitely an A side and definitely a B side.
Sure.
That the A side starts with the time of the preacher and then ends it just as I am.
Sure, yeah. I'll give
So
you that.
that's kind of like the darker tone.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the B side, we start with Denver, which is more of a happier side, more optimistic, I should say. It starts with optimistic and then gets into happy, and then like there are like, and then they get into like the saloon happy, like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
like
dun,
Down Yonder.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
like Down Yonder, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Where it's like super happy and it's seeing the light, if you will. For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And then
Okay, well, I mean, if are we gonna get into it? Let's get into it.
sure, yeah. Because I mean, after the happy, it goes into like Remember Year and Remember Me, and it kind of ends on and Hands on the Wheel, and it kind of ends on not the happiest note, but kind of like bittersweet, maybe. Just to finish out the journey of it. Anyway, is that fair to say, or did I misinterpret?
No, I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, content. I would say.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like that idea that I think it's content.
Okay.
I wouldn't say. Yeah, I'd say it's like you're happy with the life you lived, and you know if you're, it's all like strikes and gutters, right? So if you like take your life and you take all the happy things, and you take all the sad things, and you even it out, it's going to be at a zero sum, right?
Oh, strikes and gutters.
Yeah, it's all strikes and gutters. So if you flatten that line, it's going to be zero. So it's kind of like melancholy, but positive.
Well, that's just
Right?
like your opinion, man.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Sorry, you said
well,
strikes and
that-
gutters, and I had to go there.
I am the Jesus.
You don't fuck the Jesus.
Don't fuck with the Jesus.
I will fuck you up. Anyway.
Anyway, I did see a recent meme where it was the
The Jesus in
picture
the Last Supper.
yeah. Jesus like
He's polishing his
with
ball.
the ball. Yeah, polishing the ball.
Yeah, I
Last
saw
Supper,
that
yeah.
one too. I thought that was pretty good.
That was good. Anyway, okay, so if we're gonna get into this album, let's go ahead and get into this album.
Sure. What's your highlights?
Good Lord. I don't know, man. I couldn't even. I don't want to go with highlights and lowlights.
Okay. What do you want to go with?
I want to go with like. Let's talk about the story.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
I hate to break it down song by song like we used to do.
No, go
but
for it.
I mean, it feels like it should flow because it is a story.
Okay, so I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Let's go through it like
So-
we used to.
Okay, so I mean, honestly, all of these songs are very, very short,
Yeah.
and they kind of get to the point,
So
which I really like.
I do too. And the funny thing about this album is like it's It's just about the same length as my drive to the wind farm in the morning and back home.
No shit.
Yeah, it's almost dead on. The whole album, start to finish, which is, I mean,
33 minutes and some change.
Something like that. I think the Spotify version is like 35 minutes and some change, and like by the time like I start the album and then get to the wind farm, like it's usually it's the album's finished. It's a little bit longer. The commute is, but not by like more than like maybe another random Willie Nelson song on Spotify.
That's super funny.
Yeah, fun fact.
Huh.
So if people
Who
ask
cares?
how long it takes me to get to work, I can be like, oh, about redheaded stranger.
Literally redheaded stranger. It's fine.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I needed to include that fun fact.
Well, you know, sometime the clown has to laugh. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we start off with the time of the preacher.
That we do.
And we hear this 3 different times.
Yep.
However, at the beginning, it's kind of like an overture
Yeah.
because it hits all these different. It hits the cried like a panther. It does a lot of things that it hits all these different motifs that we're going to hear later, right?
Yeah.
But the real big change is at the first song. It says the lesson's begun,
Right.
right?
Now,
And then we go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and then we see later that lesson begun it changes to killings begun,
Right.
and then it changes again to began, or the story's begun.
Yeah,
Now the story's begun.
something like that. Well, the lyrics on the third one just say, "When you think it's all over, it's only begun."
It's only begun. Yeah,
Right.
It's only begun. That's right. That's right. For sure. So they use this as like key points in the story, mostly just kind of in the first arc,
right.
and then to lead you into what's going to happen after that. So when you hit the third one, that's like the redemption, the start of the redemption for this guy.
Yeah, and it's kind of so it's almost like the songs in between these 3 and after are, well, specifically in between these 3 are like acts of a play, right? Like this is a 3-act album. And these are the beginnings of the act that kind of they're like, you know, it's the exposition, if you will.
For sure. That's like the I'm not really versed in plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not
but
either.
right? But it's like, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen next. It's like the omniscient person
Right.
telling you.
It's narrated.
The narrator. Yeah, the narrator. Like the third, what is it called? The third, whatever. Anyway, the person who's omniscient is kind of telling you, here's this.
Now
here's
watch it
this.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then we see it play out, like flesh out throughout the entire album, for sure.
Right. And so Act 1 will be songs 2 through 5. And we lead it off with "I couldn't believe it was true."
No. Yeah, well, no. Act 1, the time of the preacher.
Yeah.
That's kind of the overture. The lesson's begun, and then we go to "Couldn't believe it was true," and then from there we find that he shows up to his house, and he's like, "Oh my God, my wife left me."
Right. Yeah.
And then we go back to the time of the preacher, part 2.
Well,
and now it's the killings begun.
right.
And then it goes into Blue Rock and Red-Headed Stranger.
Yeah.
And Blue
Sorry.
Eyes.
I misread that. The first act is really just "I couldn't believe it was true," but it's very short. It's a good song.
Which one?
I couldn't believe it was true.
I love that song.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I love, man, that run after the first time. I couldn't believe that run after that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I really like the line, my eyes filled with tears and I must have aged 10 years. Like that's a goddamn, that's a good line. Yeah. Anyway.
For sure, because that's basically in the story, that's where the guy shows up to the house and he realizes his woman had left him.
Right.
And he's realizing that she's gone. So he's like, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe it was true. I must have aged." And yet, if you've ever been in that situation, you kind of understand. Like, oh my God, like, what do I do now?
I mean, okay, so, story time. I have come home to find that my girlfriend left. That has happened to me.
Me too.
But it's only happened to me once. But in my case, it was more of a, okay, what do I do now? I'm like really happy about this. Like, because that was my human house cat, and they got up and left, and I was like, man, this is awesome. So, as cold-hearted as that might sound, it was well deserved. Trust me.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me, and then all of my furniture was gone.
Oh yeah, that's human house cat couldn't have, one, not capable of stealing my, like, physically capable. Two, didn't own any of it except their own dresser, which again, physically incapable of moving. So
yeah, I came home to an empty apartment, and then I realized my stepdad and my brother helped her get all of her shit out of my house.
Well, that makes it funnier.
Yeah.
Probably not in the moment, but anyway.
Not in the moment, but like we went to the bar later that day, and they're like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Man, I came home and all their stuff's gone." So yeah, we helped. My brother was like, "Yeah, I used Dad's truck. Yeah, we helped her move all her stuff out."
Like, you assholes couldn't have given me a heads up.
What the hell? Like, that's why we're buying you drinks right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's a salve on the wound, but it's fine." Anyway,
so after that, we go on to Act 2
to the Preacher Part 2,
right?
And the killing's begun, and we get into the Blue Rock, Montana, and / Redheaded Stranger,
right?
And that's the kind of the story is basically he found that his girl and her new love were in a bar, and he killed them.
Yeah,
that's when the line "smile with their." They died with a smile on their faces.
They died with a smile on their face. Yeah, I liked that line, and we'll get there
for sure, because that comes back
it
because
does.
This is a concept album.
So this song, right, like, is the first kind of theme of Redheaded Stranger. Like, right, it's the first time we're introduced to him as the character, the Redheaded Stranger. Like,
yeah,
and I don't know. It's an interesting song. I like the rhythm. This song, he talks about the Redheaded Stranger as in very Old West terms. Like, this is a person that is riding town to town, and it very much has that that kind of beat that is
tone.
Like the click clack click clack click clack click clack. It's not quite the horse step beat, but it's very much in that vein. So it gives it kind of an old-timey Western country feel. So campfire song right out of the bat. and which really everything up to now has been, and most of these are, but there's a few like saloon songs in here too. Anyway, we go from that into the song that you know and love.
Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Absolutely. So now he's killed his old lady and the dude she was with. And now this is like a lamenting song about how he regrets doing the things. Like, he regrets just all of everything that happened. Like, her leaving, him killing her, and all that kind of, and him. Yeah, he just kind of, yeah, it's just a lamenting song. Mm-hmm. It's a great song. Love that song.
Yeah, it's kind of just it's just an old remorseful love song, and I think it's adapted well, but I don't know that it was initially written as a more of a regretful song, as it is more of a just
like a pining song.
Yeah, pining for a lost loved one, specifically
yeah, for sure.
a partner, a
for sure,
husband
for
or
sure.
wife.
And I think he did that well in adapting this. Because honestly, dude,
yeah.
about half of these songs, or more than half of these songs that are actually on the album, are covers from somebody else.
Okay,
and what he did was he kind of pieced these old country songs into this story, and he kind of made it his own.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize there were that many covers. I knew there was a 2 or 3, but I didn't know there were a lot.
No, more than half.
We'll get there.
More than half of this. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, long story short, beautiful song. It's one of the most. I think it's one of the most covered country songs of all time.
Could very well be. Yeah,
it's just a great. It's a beautiful song. Anyway, then we get to Redhead, the actual song, The Redheaded Stranger, and that's where. Go ahead. Go on.
I fucking love this song. The chorus is a little campy and cheesy. I don't care. I love this song. It's so good. It's so good. He kills a broad in cold blood because she tried to steal his dead wife's pony. It's fucking hilarious. This song,
because you can't shoot a man, you can't charge a man,
can't
for
hang a man.
Lady who's trying,
can't hang a man,
laying his hand for stealing his horse.
Yeah, but like okay, so this song is really funny for a few reasons. One, because it does have the campy, cheesy chorus, like the good old sing-along chorus. Don't cross him. Don't boss him. He's wild in his sorrow.
Wild
yeah,
his way.
It's got the
he's riding. But that's kind of the theme throughout. Like he's like kind of like Vampire Hunter D. He's like, don't cross him. Don't boss him.
Sure.
He's wild in his sorrow. Like,
but
he's working through stuff, and he's just doesn't give a fuck. Like,
right.
He's kind of detached from the entire like
nihilism incarnate. Nothing fucking matters.
For sure.
But from the first time until forever, when I hear this, in the first fucking verse, under his knees was a raging black stallion. Dude, the double entendre with that, intentional or not, is strong, and I love it. So right out of the gate, this hits me in the deviant, like, fucking sex joke way, and then it just stays funny. And I don't know.
I never saw it in that light. I thought the raging black stallion was like the demon, like he's riding like kind of like in
yeah, it probably is,
like riding like Shadowmare, like
yeah,
he played like,
and it probably it probably is
that horse,
but also
demon horse or whatever,
but also that dick,
but also a big dick.
Yeah, like yeah.
Heard.
So I don't know, like it's just I realize it's not supposed to be like a super funny song or probably even funny at all, but I see it in a comedic light. Because it's like, I don't know, tragedy becomes comedy kind of light. But also the lyrics are super, super fucking fun. Even if it is a bunch of cheese and camp, I love it. Plus the melody is like super like, like super like, I don't know. It's great. Like I said, it's that horse. It's that horse cloppy type of beat. It's great. It's just fucking great. This song is amazing.
For sure. Yeah, so yeah, there's that. And then basically he's just attached and he just shoots a drunk girl who tried to
steal his horse.
Like flirting with him. Well, steal, quote unquote. She just like, oh my god!
But like it says it from the beginning. It's straight from the beginning. She looked at the bay with greed.
True, but I feel like she was just a drunk broad who like went like because he bought her a drink. I
felt like she was a prostitute.
Like, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
like she was just trying to get his, and he's like he just didn't
threw
seem
money
to care.
at her. Yeah, like.
Yeah, here.
Like, he didn't even have sex with her. He just threw money, literally, like, threw it on the counter and went, like, here, fuck off.
Could you get the... Yeah,
I'm going to pay you $100 to fuck off.
Yeah, and she didn't get that fucking... She didn't get the fucking thing.
Right.
And that's either alcohol or...
Well, man,
I don't know.
He didn't give her the Raging Black Stallion, so she had to go for the Bay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, but he fucking shot her and she's dead.
Yeah.
She died in the street. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we go back to the time of the preacher.
We do.
After Red Hooded Stranger, we go back to the time of the preacher again. And then we go to, and the story's begun. That line that changes every time. It's begun. It's only begun.
Right.
So now, this is... Actually,
it's a turning point.
After this, Just As I Am is the end of this song. So now you have to think physically that this is a record, a physical record.
Right.
So now this is a man who has gone through a lot of things. And Just As I Am is a good finisher, like a good exit.
It also...
To get into...
Just As I Am also sounds real churchy. Like it starts off and it builds. It starts off with a guitar and then there's a piano melody and then there's like a full piano melody. So I know that's a real weird thing to say, but listen to the song and you'll understand what I'm saying. It also sounds very churchy. It sounds like something I would hear in church as like you're filing in or out of church. So they're not singing yet, but like somebody's just playing the piano. And this sounds like a song that might be played during that. I don't know.
I think that's very overt because this is the last song on the A side of that record.
Intermission, right.
So now we see the dude who has been a bad person, and
Seeing
now
the
he's
light,
like
yeah.
reflecting on the poor choices he made, and now seeing the light. And then on the B side, this is where the B side starts off where he is going to be he's going to kind of atone for his sins, if that makes sense.
Right.
And that's kind of the whole idea of this. That's kind of the whole idea of this concept album.
What?
Is that he was a bad dude who did terrible things, and now on the other side, he's trying to claim redemption.
Yeah, and we start off on the B side with Denver. And for me, this is where that line comes back, of where in Blue Rock, Montana, he says they died with a smile on their face, and in Denver, he's saying they danced with the smiles on their face.
For sure, because this is in Denver, that's a new life. You can be anonymous.
Right.
It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like like in Hamilton, where in New York you can be a new man. This is Denver for them. He's a new man. He can be anonymous, and now he found a lady that he can dance with, and now he's starting to find a glimmer of hope in this new life.
Right. He's moving on, and also learning to like, I don't know, forgive himself.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this is a fun song too. I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, it's a great song. And then, but you can hear from here on out, from the B side, it's gonna have a happier tone.
It does.
Like you can hear like the more upbeat. You can hear the more positive.
Which is funny because we lead into "O'er the Waves," which is like, man, I hear this melody and I just think like fucking ukuleles in Hawaii and shit, and I don't know why it's here if he's in the American Midwest.
That's the mandolin, is what you're thinking of.
No. I understand
just...
the mandolin. What I'm saying is this song makes me think of the fucking ukulele. This song makes me think of the beach. You don't find a mandolin at the beach. You find a ukulele at the beach. I understand that it was done with the mandolin, but just the theme of this, and it seems out of place, but it's like, I guess what it's supposed to symbolize is peace. Like he's found peace.
No, I think hope.
Sure. Either way,
I wouldn't say peace because he hasn't found inner peace yet.
Okay, right.
He sees hope that he can go back to being a good person.
It's very relaxed,
right? For sure. And actually, you mentioned this earlier, and I want to make it sure. Juventio Rosas was the guy who actually made "O'er the Waves."
Sure.
And that was the I looked it up. But I just want to make that clear. But no, I think this is the idea of hope. Like, look, you're on the right track, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Like, this is a serenity in later. If you keep going this path, there will be the light, the way, the truth, and all that kind of stuff.
It is a very serene song. Oh yeah, I think serenity is a good word. And then we go into the most player piano saloon sounding song ever, and it's great.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's perfect. I don't know why "O'er the Waves" is here, but I get this one. This one just. It
just fits, right?
It's
fits. A good spacer song that so he sees the hope, and now here's the joy of believing in the hope.
Yeah, and both of these,
what I mean? Like,
we should mention both of these are instrumental.
Yeah. Oh, Down Yonder. Yeah, this is
"O'er the Waves" and "Down Yonder" are both instrumental.
Yes, but it just rings in hard because he danced with the lady and he finds hope in the fact that he can move on, and now this is that joyous. It's kind of like the puppy love.
Yeah,
state.
It's honeymoon phase.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
The honeymoon phase. Yeah, for sure. I think that's what it is. It's like he now finds a reason to live.
Right. Yeah. Which leads us to "Can I Sleep in Your Arms?"
Can I sleep in your arms? Oh, man.
Very pretty, very romantic song.
It really is. And it's the longest song on this album.
Yeah.
By a bunch.
Yeah.
By like a bunch.
Yeah, like a bunch.
Yeah. What did you think about this song?
I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite.
Not your favorite. Okay. So basically what the idea is that this is a man who's gone through a lot of things, and now he really enjoys this person that he's had fun with. Right. But he needs like kind of spiritual healing. Like he needs like human healing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he needs a fucking hug.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it is. It's like we don't have to do anything. I'll be a gentleman, but it's just
I just want to hold you. And I just want you to hold me. Yeah.
Yeah, I need help as like a human needs help. Like, could you help me?
Go ahead.
Right? I don't know. It's beautiful. I think it's the best song on the album.
Well, you played your cards early, but okay. I probably did too. Yeah, it is beautiful, and I think it's a very relatable song. I think there's a couple, but this is probably the most relatable song on the album. Because everybody's felt this. Everybody.
Elaborate. Go on. Well, why do you think that?
Everybody's been in a place where they're just like, I just need somebody to fucking hold me for a minute. And, like, to tell me it's going to be okay. You know, like, fucking, dude, everybody suffers. Not everybody has a great life, but everybody suffers. Like, that's a really harsh reality, but it's the truth. And this song, like, everybody has had this experience where they're like, whether it's someone that whether the love is romantic or platonic or just fucking total stranger, everybody's had that moment when they're just like, I just fucking need you to hold me for a second so I can get my shit together. Or so I can just know that, like, somebody somewhere cares or something. You know what I mean? That's what this song is.
Absolutely. The thing is, I think the biggest part is that he's asking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest leap for him, is that he's gone through all this shit, but he's actually asking somebody, could you please help me?
Right. Yeah, totally.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up. I'm a pussy. It's fine. No, but I think that's the hardest thing that this guy does, is that he's just like, look, can I please get some help?
Right. Yeah, and
like no man is, like no man is an island. Like, I understand that I've done a lot of bad things. I'm feeling good, but I haven't felt human yet.
Well, and this is,
could you reinforce that?
This is probably not a foreign concept to Willie Nelson the man, but it would be to the character the redheaded stranger.
Absolutely.
So it's well placed.
Because
I guess is my point. It's a beautiful song. It's well placed. It's not my favorite, but it's a beautiful song and it's well placed.
For sure, because the whole thing is he's riding high in his pain. He's just like internalizing all this bad shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he just does that because he's so angry and pissed off. And then finally, he finds a glimmer of hope. And then now he needs to release, like, all of his demons, I guess you could say. Like, just to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, just to be human again. To know what it is to be human again.
Right. For sure. This is a very, I think you said it right. This is a very humanizing song.
Yeah, because he shot a drunk bitch for fucking touching his horse. He's kind of a dick. You have to fucking humanize him at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because, I mean, you know. Yeah.
Moving on.
Like, did you have to shoot her? I mean, yeah, she tried to steal my horse.
Yeah, well, debatable. Anyway,
it leads into Remember Me.
Remember Me.
Right.
So now, here's a question. Here's the real question I have to ask about this song. Because Remember Me is about, it's basically remember me when I'm gone and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you, Andrew, is who is the speaker here? Is it him talking to his ex-wife that he shot? Is it the wife reaffirming him?
No.
Or is it like a him and an older, like him now looking back at him? Like who is speaking?
Who is speaking is a really good question. And I don't know exactly how to answer it, except that this song is about death.
For sure.
This song isn't
it
about
really
his cheating ex-wife. It's about fucking death. Like,
it's remember me. It's more of remember me and where you're at. Like, it's not. I wouldn't say death. I wouldn't say death exactly, but it's remembering those who have passed away.
yeah, but I mean, yes and no. I think this is a song about remembering. I think this is a song that's like, in death we remember each other as our. I don't know. He refers to marriage in this song, and I think that's fine, but I think it applies to more than that.
Well, he talks about marriage, and I think he references his wife.
Yeah.
Because, like, his wife that he fucking shot. But
is it his wife
is
that he
he
shot,
talking-
or is his new wife, the "Can I Sleep in Your Arms" wife?
no. It's the one from the A side.
Okay.
It has to be that
Sure.
one. I think he's reflecting on his life.
Sure. I think it can go both
Hey.
ways.
Well, that's my question. Like, who is he referencing?
Honestly,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think it depends on you, the listener. So we interpreted it differently, and that's fine because that's music. Welcome to the world of music.
I think that's awesome that he left it so ambiguous.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you can interpret whatever,
'Cause,
wherever you go.
I mean,
right?
you got to figure like, okay, yes, you know the one wife is dead because he shot her dead, but at this point, he's getting old. At this point in the story, the redheaded stranger is getting old.
Is the new wife that he had to that we see that we go back? We'll get to that later. Is it she died? Oh, I didn't think about
it.
that.
It doesn't matter. It's however you interpret it. So, like, the first time I heard
about
this
that.
song, I heard it as like we all die, and whether or not anybody has died yet is besides the point. The song is just about like, I'll be happy to remember you, and I hope you're happy to remember me when I'm gone, or when you're gone when I'm gone, respectively. That's kind of
Okay,
so I think it depends on the listener, and that's what's so good about music, and what's so good about this quality level of talent.
I think that he knew that he's going to put that song in there, and then you can interpret it however,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think, you brought up a thing that I didn't think of, that was, I didn't realize that it might have been the new wife who might have passed away. It might be, it's more of a vigil. It's a song of vigil, like, reflecting on those who have passed.
It could be himself anticipating his own passing. It could go 1,000 different ways in 1,000 different universes, right? So, anyway, this is not a fun. That's the wrong word.
This is a great
This is a very
song.
good song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
And it leads
And then,
to Hands on the Wheel.
Hands on the wheel. And now I feel like this is the point in the story where he feels like he's finally in control
Sure.
of his life. You know what I mean? Like, hands on the wheel. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
No, it does.
Like he's like, oh, I'm in control. I'm doing this, and now I can drive my life. I've kind of conquered my demons. I've conquered my demons, and now I understand that what I do next is going to be on me.
Right.
For sure. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. It closes the album out very nicely. We do have one more instrumental left, which is Bandera, which is very pretty. And this song, I think you summed it up nicely, and I think this closes the album out nicely. But I don't have a whole lot to say about it.
Well, is this the one that talks about I was with a kid and we both loved the same woman or something like that? I had that line.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think I was hanging out. I was with a boy, and
Yeah.
we both enjoyed the same woman. And I think that's kind of him. Like maybe it's his son or something. Or
Yeah.
his son or grandson or something like that.
It must
and
be.
they're like talking about the mom.
It must be
I'm
because
sorry, I'm getting all.
no, I looked at
I'm
I
cracking
I
up.
just started looking at the lyrics and you're right. Sat an old man and the boy, spinning tails with a lady they both enjoy. So yeah, it must be the wife mother figure.
Damn, I didn't think about that. Yeah, the mom died, and that's him talking to the mom, and now he's raising his son. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm having a moment. Anyway. And then Bandolero or
Bandera.
Bandera.
Yeah.
Bandera.
It's another instrumental. It's pretty.
But it's gorgeous and a good way to end it. Also, Bandera, Texas, don't ever go there.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's
But
a you drive through it kind of place. You don't stop there.
Yeah. The worst night of my life was in Bandera, Texas.
Oh,
Anyway.
do tell. No. This is a good story. Here, let's go.
It was terrible.
Okay.
I never want to go back. That's all. Like it was all bad.
Oh.
And I refused to ever go back. I don't want to get into it. It was just bad. That's all.
All right.
That is
Well,
all.
leave all of our 4 listeners disappointed.
Okay.
I was
fine.
hoping that you were part of a donkey show, like the cleanup man or something.
Yes and no, but I don't want to get in there. Anyway, so we've gone through the entire album. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of these songs are actually covers.
Oh, wow. Okay. List them.
So we got Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain
Yep.
was by Fred Rose. Down Yonder was by Wolf Gilbert.
Okay.
Over the Waves was Juvanto Rosas.
Okay.
Can I Sleep in Your Arms was Hank Cochran.
Right on.
I Couldn't Believe It Was True was Eddie Arnold.
No shit.
And Hands on the Wheel was Billy Calgary.
Okay.
So basically what Willie Nelson did when he was a DJ in Fort Worth was he heard all these guys playing these songs, and what he did was he kind of just took these songs and placed them into this idea of a story.
Right. Yeah.
And he just kind of mashed them together to make this entire concept album.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Is that not amazing?
No, he did very well.
He did a fucking great job.
I'm going to ask this, and I know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do you have any P songs?
Oh, good Lord. No. I
Yeah,
don't.
I figured.
No, I don't. This album is just, it moves too quickly. Like, there's no way there's a P song.
Yeah, I get that. I know I did this stupid stupid pop thing with my mouth for Over the Waves. It doesn't need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Just I Am As I Am is a very pretty instrumental. Bandera is also a very pretty instrumental. Yeah, Over the Waves. It's going to be my peace song. The instrumentals are very pretty. I'm not huge on instrumentals to begin with, but I think they're fine in this album. I prefer instrumentals over like talking pieces, spoken word. So I think they're fine. Yeah, Over the Waves is going to be my only one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do top 3 of peace songs because this album's fucking phenomenal.
No, it's a really good album. Like I said, Over the Waves is going to be my only peace song, I think.
And instead of all that, I do have a quick quiz for you, sir.
Oh, that's not going to end well for me.
It's just 3 questions. So I have 3 questions, and I will give you it's A, B, C choice. Sometimes A and B, but ava. So, are you ready for a short quiz?
1 second.
All right.
Okay. Now I'm ready. Hello? Shane, are you there? Shane, are you there? I don't hear you. Hey, I lost you.
Well, you found me. I'm still recording.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. All right. You ready for this 3-question quiz?
Let's do it.
All right. You ready? Okay. So. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway. Fucking insert all the stupid quiz fucking anyway. So Andrew, question number 1. Who has more albums? Is it Willie Nelson, Frank Zappa, or the Stones and Frank Sinatra combined? Recorded studio albums. I should qualify it with studio albums.
Well, why the
So who has
fuck would you give me 2 bands combined?
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
so who has more studio albums?
okay,
Is
obviously,
it Willie Nelson,
obviously,
Frank Zappa, or the Stones and Sinatra?
obviously, it's not the Stones and Sinatra combined, because you wouldn't have included that as an answer unless it was the wrong answer. And so Frank Zappa's dead. Willie Nelson's still alive, and he had 18 albums by 75. So Willie Nelson.
That is incorrect. So the Stones have 30 studio albums. Frank Sinatra has 59 albums, so that gives them a total of 89 albums. Willie Nelson has 95 recorded albums, 70 studio, and 25 collaborative albums. But Frank Zappa has 119 recorded albums.
Okay, that's
I
surprising.
thought I gave you a low ball. I thought I gave you a low ball. Anyway, okay,
surprising, but not surprising.
Okay, so question number 2.
Sure.
Who had the first studio album release? Is it Willie Nelson or the Beatles?
Oh. That's difficult. I'm going to say studio. That's still difficult.
Studio albums.
I'm going to say Nelson. Again, I'm going to go with Willie.
Nelson is correct.
Right.
Nelson is correct. His first studio album was September 24th, 1962. The Beatles' first studio album was March 22nd, 1963.
Yeah, I knew they were in the 60s, but I figured if he had 18 by 75, then he also was in the 60s. So,
all right. So now, question number 3. Who has the most recent album? Is it Willie Nelson, Stitches, or Metallica?
oh, man. Well, Stitches went to jail, right?
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Metallica did something recently, but I don't think it was that recently. And I haven't heard it. Shame on me. Fuck it. Let's go Willie Nelson for 3 in a row.
That's negative.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson had First Rose of Spring drop in July 3rd. Stitches had Married to the Bricks in January 15th of this year.
Yeah.
And Metallica just dropped S&M 2 on August 28th of this year.
All right.
So they did Symphony and Metallica this year.
Honestly, I'm a bad Metallica fan. I didn't realize they dropped an album this year. Shame on me.
I just saw that, I saw that 2 days ago, and I was like, oh my God, I had to put this in
I honestly didn't know, which is, considering my boss's fucking ringtone is a Metallica song, he should have told me. But he didn't, so shame on him. Not shame on me.
Yeah.
I'm a casual Metallica fan, all right? Shame on him. He's got it as his ringtone. My ringtone's Zelda, and I'm also a casual Zelda player, and I don't know that much about Zelda, so fuck you too, okay? Don't at me, bro.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you all marked up and shit.
Yeah, fine, whatever. No,
Anyway.
I don't know, I'm like 4 beers deep, and it's just now starting to feel good. So I'm gonna be like rowdy. Just like that redheaded stranger. I'm just not as cool.
Don't shoot nobody.
Yeah, man, I don't carry a gun. I don't know what to say.
Anywho, do you have anything else to say about this album? Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. But it's a question.
Go
Shane,
ahead.
what is your number 3 song?
My number 3 song?
Yeah.
Oh, for shit. Oh, fuck me. Remember Me.
Okay. That's a good song. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Are we doing top?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So what's your number 3 song? All right, so fuck it. What's your number 3 song?
Shit.
Bro, you asked me a question. You ain't
No,
ready.
I did
Come
not
on,
write
man.
this down beforehand. Let's say
Jesus
Denver.
Christ.
I like Denver a lot.
Denver?
Yeah. I like Denver a lot.
Denver-
It's not
Denver
my
is a
favorite.
good song.
What's
Okay.
your number 2?
My number 2 is, oh, good Lord, where do I even start? Couldn't Believe It Was True.
Okay. All right. That's yeah,
Right.
I get it.
Back at you.
Yeah, Redheaded Stranger.
Reddit Strange number
Yeah.
2? Poor
It's
phone.
it was between that and number 1.
Okay. All right, so I guess my number 1 song is gonna be Blue Eyes. It's gotta be
Yeah,
Blue Eyes.
I figured so.
It's my man. Again, I'm gonna bring you back to Uncle Fred. Uncle Fred played that in my grandma's funeral, and that was her favorite song.
Right.
And she was like the light of my. She was the coolest grandma.
Right.
Anyway, my Meemaw forever. Meemaw forever.
I get you. I get you.
So Blue Eyes is gonna be number 1.
Yeah, for me, number 1 is going to be I Couldn't Believe It Was True. I fucking love that song. It's great.
It's fucking amazing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's really, especially how it man, I just love how it starts off slow and then it.
Yeah, no.
And
Everything about this is gold. Well, listen to this album. It's a lot of fun.
It's fucking fantastic.
Neither Shane nor I are like super country people. We have our we both appreciate country to a certain extent, but neither of us are like that's our jam. You know what I mean?
We're both from Texas, so we understand how country works.
Oh, we have to.
However,
it's
kind of a thing. It's kind of a
dude.
thing.
Texas
However,
history is a subject in school. Country music is a part of that.
It really is, Brack. It really is. But the thing about Willie Nelson, Willie Nelson is just, he's transcendent of country music.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's really good. Like, he's just good at, the dude has a reggae album.
Yeah,
he really does.
There's some dude, and it's probably more than one, but there's some guy that goes on like I don't know if it's a comedian or a talk show host or whatever, but there's some guy that goes on a rant about how Willie Nelson's actually like fucking super rock and roll, and look it up. I don't know what the name of it is, but look it up. It's it's funny.
Willie is, if Willie would to run for like a third party for president,
he hasn't he?
Dude has my vote.
I mean, everybody should just write him in every year anyway, because, you know, why not?
Stop telling people what I do when I vote, bro. That was incompetence.
Motherfucker, you wrote in Joe Exotic last for 2016. That's what you told me anyway. you sent me his campaign video and went, "This is who I'm voting for."
Damn dog. Damn dog, you put me on the spot. Yeah, no, I did that.
Yeah, no, I know, because you sent me his campaign video. That's why I knew about Joe Exotic before Tiger King.
King, yeah.
The only reason I knew about it. You sent me that stupid goddamn campaign video. Shane.
Yes, sir.
I have one more question for you.
Go on.
If you were to rate this album from Slanted and Enchanted to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, where would you put it?
I'd put it over Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Okay.
Dude, this is an offset. Like, no, I don't feel like this is like an offshoot. I don't think we can rate it into our normal scale.
I mean, whatever.
Does that make sense? Like, I
mean, that's just like your opinion, man.
Well, okay. What were the last two country albums we did? We did
Straight to Hell by Hank 3
Smash.
and Stomp and Smash. Yeah.
So over our Two-Steptember stuff, where would you put that?
I mean, come on.
Over...
That's not fair.
That's
not fair.
We have to make a side column.
That's not fair. This is fucking this is widely regarded as, not only is this widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best, country albums ever made. This is fucking country royalty. Like, I'm sorry, but Hank 3 and I'm sorry, what's the other artist? I don't remember. Exactly. Don't fucking hold a candle. It was a good album, but that's not.
So as far as Two-Steptember goes,
that's not fair. Like, when you talk about like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John holds a candle to Willie Nelson. Come on, he's been around as long. He's been making great music as long.
Willie's been there further.
Yeah. Okay.
Longer longevity.
Okay.
Real talk.
Sure, but think about it. Like, okay, Willie's what, in his 70s, early 80s, maybe.
But what?
And Elton's
he's dog. He's in his 80s, 90s.
Okay,
dog.
80s and 90s, and Elton is in his 60s, 70s. Like, they're in the same era. So at least with our other list, these artists stand a chance.
For sure, but you're crossing the streams.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean?
we're
Like,
mixing
what-
Elton John with fucking Pavement in the other list. Come on. Like,
But that's a different. That's somebody else's categorization. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Look. Let's just leave this as look. This is my gold star. Don't fuck with it.
I guess.
Like-
I guess.
You know what I mean? Okay. That would be me. That would be the same as saying like, can you put this over? Thank you, scientist. Like this is our gold stars.
Yeah, and
Like-
I don't think I can.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to do
Here's
that?
the thing. Here's the thing. Like, this is a great album. I won't visit it as often as I'll visit Thank You, Scientist. I honestly won't. And to put it in your country metric, I honestly won't visit this album as frequently as I will Straight to Hell. Because it doesn't have the sentimental value for me. This is a new album to me. And it's
For
really
sure.
good.
But this is a sentimental one for
But
me. So I don't want my sentimental thing like my Meemaw, who loves this fucking Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, and my Uncle Fred, who is my fucking family's Willie Nelson, who is a god to me. I don't want to rank him.
All right.
It's a gold star. That's a gold star on the pin.
All right.
Like I don't want to rank
Sure.
him. I don't want to rank
Sure.
him. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
get you.
It's not like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to do that.
I get you. All right. Then we won't. Then we'll leave it off. We just won't rank this one. We can rank the next
But
one.
It's if you want to do that, that's fine. But I just want to say, like, when we do the side stuff, like it's just a gold. It's like a gold star. On the sidewall. Like
you say that, but there was Stitches. That was the side one.
well, we're not going to rank those. Those just, you know what? Hey,
I'm
hey,
just
you know
saying. I'm just saying. I don't know
And I'm
that
just
Stitches
saying-
is a gold star. It might be more like of a baby shit colored star.
What I'm saying is somebody asked us to do this, and we did
Well,
it. So you know what? Fucking whatever. If fucking Johnny, who didn't know how to do pluses and minuses, comes up with a fucking something, that's a gold star. That doesn't mean anything. That's just like we acknowledge that you did that. Okay, good. You're on the board for things you did. That's fine.
okay.
Like
Okay.
those are untouchable. Does that make
Sure,
sense?
sure.
Like, those are untouchable.
I get
Like,
you.
I don't want to rank this thing. I don't want to. And
Yeah, I get it. It's a
if
perfect
you
album
get
for you.
If you get to like, you know what I mean? Like if you put something in here that's close to you and like you have like a sentimental stuff, I don't want to rank it to somebody else. Like fuck that noise. Like that's.
All right, man.
I think that's insensitive.
All right.
To what I.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I get it.
Does that
Yeah,
make
I
sense?
get it.
Like gold star. I don't give a shit what you put in here. Just gold star. Just everybody gets a gold
All right.
star because
All right.
you requested that.
Moving
album.
on.
It's
Moving
fine.
on.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
No,
Okay.
I'm done.
All right.
Oh no! Yeah, no.
What's up?
I do. I have the quote that I want to close.
All
out
right.
on. So this is from Texas Monthly by Joe Petoskey.
Okay.
What he says about this album is, Texas have known for years what Redheaded Stranger finally revealed to the world. That Willie Nelson is simply too brilliant a songwriter, interpreter, and singer, just too damn universal to be defined as merely a country artist. I think he encapsulates Willie Nelson amazingly in that quote.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a rating. That'd be great. iTunes or wherever else. Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. Talk to us on Facebook at facebook.com/sadpandapresentspodcast. Let us know what you think about the show, about the album. And again,
It's just
thanks for
three
listening. Bye.
chords and
Thanks for
it's not
listening.
very long. I'm gonna make everyone after singing my generic country song.